You said yes to going out. You wanted to want it. And now you're here. The bar is loud in that familiar way. Your friends are laughing, talking, ordering another round. Nothing is wrong. No one's being difficult. The night is fine. But you keep glancing at the time. Not because you have somewhere to be, just because part of you is already calculating when it would be acceptable to leave. You're nodding at the right moments. You're smiling when you're supposed to. But somewhere behind your eyes, you've already checked out. You're present in body only. The rest of you left about an hour ago. And there's this quiet guilt mixed with something that almost feels like relief. The idea of being home, alone, in silence. It sounds less like loneliness and more like rest. When did being around people start to feel like a task you're just trying to finish? Here's the thing. This doesn't automatically mean you're becoming antisocial. It doesn't mean you hate people now. It doesn't mean something is fundamentally broken in you. But it does mean something, and it's worth understanding what. We all carry a kind of public self, a version we built over years to be acceptable, to fit in, to connect. It's not fake exactly. It's more like a costume you learned to wear so naturally you forgot you're wearing it. This adapted self takes energy to maintain. Every social interaction requires you to hold it in place, to calibrate your tone, your reactions, your face, to be the version of yourself that others expect. When you're rested and resourced, this costs almost nothing. It happens automatically. You walk into a room and the social self activates. You laugh, you engage, you connect. It feels easy because it is. But when your system is depleted, everything changes. The costume gets heavy. The calibration becomes exhausting. Every smile takes effort. Every conversation feels like something you have to manage instead of something you're actually part of. And at some point, your body starts sending signals. I need to leave. I need quiet. I need to stop performing. That's not antisocial. That's self-preservation. But here's where it gets tricky. There's a difference between needing solitude and hiding from life. Healthy withdrawal is temporary. It's a reset. You pull back, you recharge, and then you return. The connection is still there. You still want it. You're just managing your capacity. But sometimes withdrawal becomes something else. It stops being a break and starts being a pattern. The recharge never quite happens. The desire to return never quite comes back. And slowly, without noticing, you start building a life that requires less and less contact with others. Not because you chose it, because your system defaulted to it. The signs are subtle at first. Plans start feeling like obligations. You say yes and immediately wish you'd said no. Then you start saying no more often. Then you stop getting invited. Conversations that used to energize you now drain you. Even good ones. Even with people you love. You leave interactions feeling emptier than when you arrived. You start preferring the idea of people over actual people. You think about friends fondly. You just don't want to see them. The gap between caring about someone and wanting to be around them grows wider. And there's this strange guilt, because you know you should want more connection. You remember when you did, but something shifted, and now being alone feels safer than being with others. Safer. That's the key word. When solitude becomes about safety rather than rest, something deeper is happening. There's an old idea in psychology that we all carry rejected parts of ourselves. Needs we learned to suppress. Desires we decided were too much. Aspects of who we are that didn't fit the image we were trying to maintain. One of those rejected parts might be your actual social needs. Maybe at some point, needing people felt dangerous. Maybe connection came with conditions. Maybe every time you opened up, something went wrong. So you learned to not need, to be fine alone, to require less from others. And now that strategy is running your life. The part of you that genuinely wants connection got pushed so far down that you can't feel it anymore. All you feel is the exhaustion of performing and the relief of not having to. But relief is not the same as fulfillment, and not needing anyone is not the same as being whole. Here's what I want you to consider. If your withdrawal is a choice, that's one thing. Some people genuinely thrive with minimal social contact. They're not broken, they're not avoidant. That's just how they're built. But if your withdrawal is an escape, that's different. If you're pulling back because being around people has started to feel threatening. If you're choosing isolation because connection requires more than you have. If you're disappearing not because you want to, but because you don't know how to stay. That's not preference. That's protection. And protection that never turns off eventually becomes a prison. So how do you know the difference? Ask yourself this. When you imagine being deeply connected to someone, truly seen, truly known, does that feel like something you want? Or does it feel like something you need to avoid? If connection sounds exhausting, you might just need rest. But if connection sounds dangerous, something else is going on. Pay attention to what happens after you isolate. Do you feel restored, recharged, ready to engage again? Or do you feel the same, maybe even emptier? Like the solitude didn't give you anything, it just took less from you. The first is healthy introversion. The second is withdrawal as a coping mechanism. And there's nothing shameful about the second, but it does require attention. Here's the uncomfortable truth. We're wired for connection, not as a preference, as a biological necessity. Our nervous systems regulate through other people. Our sense of self is built in relationship. Isolation, when it becomes chronic, doesn't just affect mood, it affects identity. You can get so used to being alone that you forget who you are with others. You lose access to the parts of yourself that only emerge in connection. And slowly, the self that exists in solitude becomes the only self you know. That's a kind of impoverishment. Not dramatic, not obvious, just a quiet narrowing of who you are. The answer isn't to force yourself to be social. That doesn't work. Willpower can't override a nervous system that feels unsafe. The answer is to understand what's driving the withdrawal. Is it depletion? Then rest. Really rest. Not distraction, not numbing, actual restoration. Is it overstimulation? Then build a life that requires less performance. Find people who don't need you to wear the costume. Is it fear? Then that's the thing to look at. Gently, slowly, with support if you can find it. The goal isn't to become an extrovert. The goal is to have access to connection when you want it. To be able to choose solitude rather than default to it. To know the difference between protecting your energy and hiding from your life. You don't have to fix this tonight, but you might start noticing. The next time you want to leave early, ask yourself what you're leaving. The situation or yourself? The next time isolation sounds like relief, ask what you're relieved to avoid. Exhaustion or something deeper? Just notice. That's the beginning. Because the opposite of withdrawal isn't forced connection. It's presence. Being in your own life. Available to others. Available to yourself. And that starts with seeing clearly what you've been doing and why. If this felt familiar, this channel is for people who notice things about themselves that most people ignore. Quiet observations. No performance, no pressure. There's more coming if you want to stay. And wherever you are tonight, whether you're out somewhere wishing you were home, or home somewhere wondering why you never go out, you're not broken. You're just paying attention to something that deserves a closer look.